What's up everyone? So I decided to add some tech videos to my channel. I'm hopeful that these videos can help some of you do-it-yourselfers and maybe save you some money. Today, this 636 needs some new front brake pads. 75% of our braking on these bikes is up front, so keeping up on brake maintenance is crucial. So here's some of the stuff that we're going to need for this job. I like to use gloves. Brake lubricant is great to have. Brake parts cleaner, of course. A 5mm Allen. A ratchet, 12mm socket, small extension, flathead screwdriver, steel wool is great to have if you have it, and some clean towels. Alright, I personally like to begin with breaking these pin bolts loose, and they're Allen's 5mm. Once those are loose, you can back them out a bit, but don't take them out all the way. It's just nice to be able to break them loose while they're supported by something still. Now we can start with the 12mm bolts that are holding the caliper onto the fork leg. Now you're going to want to take these pins all the way out. The pads should fall right out the bottom. These are the old pads, pretty worn down in comparison. Not terrible, but definitely ready for replacement. So you can see the pistons, all four of them there. The bracket is up top. The bracket can actually easily be pulled out if you just slide it out the top. You can clean that thing off if you need to. Slide it right back into place. It actually does have an up direction, and most of them say it right on the top of it. Before I put the new brake pads in, put a screwdriver, something in between the old ones, and I'll pump the lever in order to get the pistons out as far as I can. So the best thing to do is to get a towel. You want to clean it in there as best as you can, because those pistons have to go back in. Sometimes they have road grime and dirt and all kinds of stuff on them, and there are rubber seals inside the calipers that you don't want to damage, but brake cleaner is perfectly fine and safe. You want to spray all that down and get all that loose stuff out. I like to actually grab an old toothbrush, something soft, and scrub down the pistons a little bit. Get in there the best that you can. Another spray down. Just wipe all that stuff away. Pistons are actually pretty easy to push back in by hand. So anytime that you really have a metal on metal surface, you want to use some brake lubricant. Get a little bit of that stuff onto the back of the pads where the pistons meet the back of the pad. Just try not to get it on the front of the pad whatsoever, because that would not be a good day. These pins are pretty clean because I've already cleaned them, but a lot of times with the grime and everything that's stuck to them, I like to take some steel wool and I just give them a good scrub down until they start looking a little shiny and all the black stuff starts coming off. Once that's done, you take these pins and take a little bit of this lube and put it on those pins so that those pads can move freely across them. You've got nasty stuff on your gloves, so before you touch those pads again, get some new gloves. Once the back of your pads and your pins are all lubed, you want to put the brake pads back into the caliper. Hold them with your thumb here. Grab a pin and feed it back into position. Sometimes it helps to push on the top of that plate so you can get that pin all the way in. This bracket up top has a little part right in the center that the pin needs to go over top of, so you're gonna have to push that down in order for the pin to go over the top of it. Once it's in all the way, spread the pads apart, put them back, tighten these back down. Without a torque wrench, I usually tighten things by hand, and then I give it a good quarter turn. Same thing goes for these pins. Tighten it by hand, quarter turn. So when you push those pistons in by hand, it pumps all that fluid back up to the reservoir. So you got to remember to pump the brakes until you get pressure so that those pistons can push those pads back out, clamp that rotor. So now that that's complete, we'll take our rag, spray a little brake clean on it, wipe everything down. So that's pretty much it for that. You're going to repeat this process for the other side. And you got to remember that when the pads get worn down, all that fluid from up in the reservoir ends up out here filling up that space that those pistons are pushing out. And when you push all that stuff back up, it goes all back into the reservoir. You got a bunch of dirty fluid. If you were changing your brake pads and they're completely wore out, then the fluid in the system is also wore out. So I recommend that you flush the system, put some new brake fluid in the lines, and get all that nasty old stuff out. You can save that for another video. So I hope this video was able to help you guys out. If it did, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you on the next one.